Thanks to everyone on the line again. I am Enoch Domo from Liberia, and I'm a master student at the University of Jinan. And for today's lecture, I will be focusing more on research tools, and maybe their usage, and we will interact more, like we will do more practical aspect of this entire lecture. So let me share my screen and then we can get the ball rolling. Okay. I believe you can all see my screen, right?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay. So for today's lecture, this is going to be like something, and we'll have a short introduction. And after that, we will jump into tools for brainstorming, and as well idea generation tools, writing tools that we can use for writing, research, and also talk about data collection tools. Yeah, tools that can help us to collect data, and also reference managers, tools for finding relevant literature, and so on. So we'll just move directly into it. So, all right, like writing or research is not something easy. You don't have the rightful tools when you are writing or research work. Like you will take years to complete maybe a paper, or if it is a thesis work, or just uh, some kind of survey. It's going to take you years to complete them. But if you use the rightful tools at a particular time, I believe you will be able to speed up your entire research work. And before moving on, please, can you tell me the time that I have before I want to be sure? How much time do I have again, please?
Just go ahead. I will remind you. Okay.
Okay. All right. So, like, you writing research when it comes to efficiency and productivity, once you are using the rifle tools, it helps you streamline complex tasks, and it helps reduce time so that you can focus on major stuff. And as well, when it comes to accuracy and precision, when you are using the rifle tools, for example, uh, like back then when we did not have reference managers that could really help, the people were not informed to, all right, 40 minutes, okay. When people were not informed to the rightful tools to use when doing citation, like you will write that entire work manually. And after a period of time, maybe you try submitting it to a journal, and then that journal says you need to change the style you use. Maybe you use IEEE, and then they're asking you to use APA or something else. And if you wrote that, let's say, references manually, or you did your citation manually, you have to redo that entire work again. And if you have so many references, for example, 100 plus references, that is going to be a big job for you. But if you use the rifle tools, it helps you to be very accurate, and it speed up your task. So collaboration as well. Using the rifle tools for collaboration helps speed up things. So to stop talking much, we'll just jump into uh, the real thing. And after this lecture, I will also share this PPT, and then people can make reference to them. Oh, okay. So I was just also talking about how research tools can help simplify your work and your processes. Yeah, and you can actually follow that. So starting with the first thing, before writing or work, or let's say writing a paper or a thesis, you will always need to have your plan. Like what is your entire plan that you are using? Like you need ideas, you need something to work with. And it all starts with a design. You need to draft something. You say, oh, I'm going to work on this project, and this is the design for this project. So with this design, I can execute it using this mentor, using that mentor, and all of that. And there are tools that help make this kind of work very easy. And you have Draw.io. Draw.io is, let's say, a mind map tool, and you can do so many things with it. Like you can draw design, you make architecture, you make a lot of different flow charts. You also have Xmind, you have Visual Paradigm, you have Figma, you also have Eraser. And Figma and Eraser, they have other capabilities, like you can also use AR in it to speed up some of the work. There's certain tasks that you do not understand and you don't know how to go about it. You can just ask question and then it can maybe generate something for you. So we will firstly start with uh, Draw.io. So for this Draw.io, like this, that's the official link, and it is an open source, let's say, app. So you can use it for free. It is not something that requires you to pay for it. And sometimes to really understand how a particular, let's say, app function, it is good you follow their documentation. So there is also a link there that you can use to follow their documentation. And Draw.io also has an online version. You can work with Draw.io online, and you can also work with it offline by downloading uh, the app for your OS. So this is the link for the download option. And like you see in this figure here, it's just a sample of what Draw.io can do. This is just a sample. So if you use this download link that you are seeing here, if you click on this download link, based on your OS type, you will download, let's say, the version for your OS. If it is a Mac, you can use the .dmg file, and then if it is for Windows, you can use exe file. So now let's try to do something in Draw.io. And yes, I try showing a project like this. But let's start something from scratch. And we have this control. So for example, let's say you are making a flow chart for a particular task. You have all of these different content or attributes that you can use. You can just drag them and you add to your workspace. And after that, you can do whatever you, so let's say, for example, I am drawing a flow chart, let's say for a system, let's say LMS system. So I need to know what this entire system is about. If the system has maybe a login, like authentication first. So I say firstly, this system start with user authentication. And in here, I draw this content and I can put maybe, but yeah, it start with a login system. And after that, what next? You can also use these arrows that usually come on them. Like if you just hover over this, you see an arrow. And then you can just click on it. You can click on any of these, or you just click directly on it to see multiple options that you can choose from. So you say you start with auth and then authentication. Once you get to authentication, you can select whatever you are using. Like, for example, if you ask this user to log in, and then if their user information is correct, then you can allow them to pass. Let's say, if correct, then you can come this way, pass. And if maybe their information is not correct, so we can maybe ask something this way. Let's say no, and press the cut this and say yes. Yeah. So for this no, we can add this to it. If yes, then you can pass to the next step. Maybe you can view the dashboard. And if no, you need to come back. So we can also get a connection from here and try to put it back to this authentication. So we can do it like this. So yeah, something like that. But I did an example, and like you can use all of these different functions. Like you have so many different options to choose from. Whatever design you are doing, you can choose from so many options. So I just wanted to show, let's say, the start of it before I can show you what I did. So for example, let's say you are drawing an organizational chart. Like you see, this is an example of organizational chart. You are just showing the structure of maybe your learning system. You say this learning system has an admin user, and this admin user control this entire system. And you have sub maybe functions of this admin user. You also have a teacher. Teacher also has its own different functions. And you also have a student. Student has its own functions as well, just like that. And this can be done just by draw the RO. You just do combination of different figures. And if you don't love how this particular organizational chart is positioned, you can also highlight them and you can transform them, arrange them. For example, if you want to make it, let's say, horizontal, you can click this horizontal, you are aligning it horizontal. As a layer, your horizontal flow. And then you change the entire direction just like that. You can change the entire direction. Also, if you don't want it that way, you can also change how that particular, let's say you want to make it as uh, an organic chart. Maybe you want to make it organic. You can also click organic and you click the spacing. How do you want the spacing to be? If it is 50, you can leave it at 50. If you want to reduce it, you can reduce it. If you want to increase it, you can increase it. And making it organic, so this is how it is going to be structured. And if you want to use, maybe your computer don't have much space, you can also work with the same thing. You can use the same design directly online. Like you can just go on Draw the RO, what's the website? Okay, drawtheRO.com. So let's go along and show you how it looks like.
You have say you will pay that you will pay that review or no.
All right, so you can start.
And you know you want that busy.
I kindly mute your mic, okay? And honorable speaker, please unmute yourself, okay? I think you're muted.
Oh,
All right, thank you.
okay, thank you. So it is loading. Let's be patient, please. Can you guys please accept people? I'm seeing people are joining.
Yeah. I'm doing that.
Okay. So, all right. So this is the online interface. So you can choose to connect using any of your profile. If you have an account, maybe you have a OneDrive account, you can connect of them. And maybe if you don't want to use any of them, you just want to work directly, you just say decide later. And this is the interface. And you can see it is just pretty similar to what you have here. Everything is just the same. And like you are seeing this interface, it is actually like white. You can change it to dark if you don't love the white, let's say, string that you are seeing. And the same as this, you can also change it online. The same functionality from the app, you can also do the same from this way as well. You can perform any action. Yeah, any action. Just randomly draw different figures, organize them in whatever design you are making. Yeah, and it help, let's say, make your entire workflow easy. So I think that's really it for Draw the RO. If you have questions, please write down your questions, like doing question and answer time. And you can ask me a question. Yeah, you can ask me all of the question. All right, so we can go to the next, because we still have so many things to talk about. I cannot spend more time on throughout the hour. Okay. Yes, so the next two is Xmind. Xmind is also a mind map tool. You use it to do so many things. Like it's just a brainstorming tool how to design your work before. And this is the link for both OS. Like you can find the Windows OS, Mac OS, and the documentation so that you can learn how to use it if you are not good at it. And you can also follow YouTube videos. And for this app, it is not free. It is not an open source app. So like these links that you are seeing, you can download them and use it for, you can use the free version. Like the free version offers so many things. The only major thing is if you want to personalize certain things, you will not be able to do it because it is a free version. So let's open Xmind. Yeah, show you something. Okay, so this is Xmind, and you have templates that you can choose from. If you don't want to choose any of the templates that are there, you can create your own work from scratch, like just create something new. So we can start with my map, and that is just an ad. Okay, so this is it. You can, like you can see this sidebar. You can use this sidebar to change the way setting, let's say, content are ordered. For example, like if you click on this main window, which is this central topic. If you don't love the way it is ordering your content, you can change it from here. You just click on structure. Yeah, click on structure and then you can order it. If you want it to be like a logic chart, you say logic chart. If you don't like how it is, you can also change it to a timeline and then just like that. If you don't love the timeline view, you can change it to a fishbone and you can just play with it. The more you play with it, the more you will know. And you can also delete just by clicking delete on your keyboard. You can also add a new, let's say, content by pricing. If you want to add a sub content, you can press tab on your keyboard. And if you want to add maybe a similar content that is maybe just like this, you can click here and just press enter. Yeah, so those are just some basic, let's say, commands to use. And you can, let's say, yeah. So let me show you an example of something that I did before so that you can see how it is like. And after that, we can move to the next. Okay, recent, where is it? Okay, so, okay. All right, so let's open this, and see something. All right, so like you can see, this is so big. This is just something about music. You can see different, let's zoom in, different keys and yeah, different structures. So like I said, if you don't love how certain attributes are positioned, you can just reposition them. Yeah, for example, maybe you don't want this to display like this, like how this is being displayed. You can just change that from, let's say, yeah, so that the structure is given. So maybe you want it to be more like a tree. Just click on it and then, yeah. So you can do so many things with it. Yeah, so many things. And it help you let's say, work very easily by building your various designs that you want to build for whatever project you are doing. And it helps speed up your work. So let's move to next. Okay. So the next is visual parading. And like all of these apps just work the same way. Yeah, they are very similar when you are using them. And maybe like I added both the download link, their tutorials and everything. You can try to download them and maybe ask any question that you have directly through the group since we have a group. And I can still, let's say, guide you to do certain things. Most of them, they are similar. Once you understand one, you can understand the rest of the other. So for example, let's look at Figma a bit. For Figma is a UI tool. You can use it to design different UIs. And let me show you something quickly. It also has an AI capability where you can use AI to do something that you do not understand. Maybe you are writing about a certain work and you don't know how to begin. You can make use of Figma. It's still opening. I'm sorry. Okay, while Figma is loading, you can also get to this because the next two is Eraser. And after that, we will leave from this session and go to another session. Oh, this thing locked me out. I'm sorry, my network is getting very slow. So sorry. Yes, it is still loading. I'm sorry. So like you see, this is the interface of Figma. This is the interface. You can use some templates that are available. You can also create your own content from scratch. So let's make use of AI and C. For example, all right, while that is still loading, let's maybe work with this. So for eraser, you can also use AI, like you can just write a prompt and then tell maybe this tool what you want to design. And then based on the prompt that you gave, it will design that particular thing for you. So let's say let's say we want to build something like I'm coming. But this account, I think my free trial is over, so I don't think that will work. Let me create a new account from here quickly, short. Lovely. Start next launch. Oh, Oh, on the last one of it. Oh, oh, language is so slow. All right, so Figma is open already, so we can write something. Let's say we want to make a flow chart. About learning management system. So once you click on generate, it will start to generate it for you, like just by giving your idea. Like you see, it started by, let's say we start and then log into the system, enter username, and with your correct credential, yes. And if no, display error message. And then if you don't love how certain maybe attributes are maybe aligned, you can just use this idea as a template. And then you can still make use of your draw.io to continue your work. Yeah, and let's try this other account. So for this, I've used most of my, okay, let's say mm, a class diagram. Let's try that and see. Ooh. So like this is also something that was generated using the same thing. I just asked it to maybe make a class diagram based on my data. Maybe if you have your structure of your table, maybe all of your tables that you have, you can just ask this AR tools and it can generate your table for you. You can also design them just like in Draw.io. If you don't want AR to design it, you can design them by drawing it yourself, adding your labels, and it works just the same. And if you give in your prompt, it will also design or generate the content that you are trying to generate. So you can experiment them, and I think we can move on because I spent a lot of time on this and we still have more things to talk about. All right, so now for the writing aspect, like these are major tools that can be used when writing. You have Grammarly is very essential. Okay, like I was using Figma. I was sending this PPT. What I was demonstrating not too long was Figma and then Eraser.io, Eraser.io. But they will all be in the PPT and you can check them after. Yeah. So like these are various tools that help speed up your entire writing process. Like you have Grammarly to do correction. Maybe if your grammar is not correct, you have chatbots like ChatGPT, Gemini, Microsoft Copilot, and there are so many other chatbots, let's say, out there that you can use. You also have Qbot that you can use to paraphrase most of your work. You also do grammar check and all of that. You have plagiarism checker that you can use to check for plagiarism, and this is free. You have free version. For this Turnitin, you don't have a free version because to get a hack version is very hard. Like I tried searching online, but couldn't find it. So like Grammarly, this is the official link for Grammarly, and this is the Grammarly download link. You can use it to download it for your app. And this is the Grammarly extension, like add-in for Microsoft. It is easier when you are doing your work if you just use the add-in directly from Microsoft instead of maybe always leaving from your Word document and then going through another app or maybe online and then trying to work on a particular content. So let's demonstrate an example here. It is still downloading. That was in the cloud, that's why. Okay. Oh my God. So like you can see here, close this. You have Grammarly, you just click on Grammarly. And how did Grammarly get in here? Like this add in link you are seeing here. Escape. Escape this. All right. So like this link, if you click on this link, if you click on this link, it will bring you to Microsoft, let's say Office Online add-in library where you can use that library to add a particular add-in to your work. So if you click on this link, it brings you Grammarly, and you can just add Grammarly to your Microsoft Word document by clicking Get Now. But I need to sign in first, like you said. Just a moment logging in. Okay, it is logging me in. But I have Grammarly already, so no need to add. If you click on Get Now, it will try to load and then add directly to your Microsoft Word document. And once you sign into your Microsoft Word document, you can access all of your various add-ins, all of your available add-ins from here. Yeah, so let's click on More. And I may manage add-ins. So like you see, these are the various add-ins that I have. You have Joda RO, consistency check, Grammarly, Qbert. You can find them directly here. So if I want to check maybe my document for any grammar error, I can just click directly on Grammarly, and then Grammarly is going to load. After that, I can use Grammarly to check this entire document for any check that. Oh my God. Okay. You need to log in to Grammarly. It's asking me to log in before using it. So let's log in quickly. I'm a human. Oh my God. Oh my God, this thing. I'm sorry. I change the user. I should be user two. Yeah, I use that too. Okay, this is our verification code. Oh. Yes, we are good to go. Next. Okay, while that is loading, we can also try to click on Qbert so that Qbert can load as well. It's Qbert. Okay, so I think it has loaded successfully. Now it is giving error marks for all of my work, like places that I need to work on. It is saying that grammatically this is not correct, but you don't have to accept everything that Grammarly is suggesting to you. This is actually correct. It is just a command before this formula that is down there. And for example, maybe if this wasn't correct and I want to change it, you can just directly click on this and then maybe they try to fix it for you. Like you see, it did it fix automatically. And like you can see, a list of errors that is suggesting incorporate. It's saying that this is supposed to be incorporates, incorporates, yes, with the S on it. And here it is just incorporate. And then you can change it just like that. You can use the same thing to fix your entire work, places that you have grammatical errors. So let's try keyboard. Oh, this computer is freezing. So, all right. So we can launch keyboard. I think keyboard was our next. All right, yes, keyboard. And this is keyboard link. You can also find keyboard online. Like if you check online, the online version, you can find it there as well. Oh, that is loading. And if you don't have keyboard, download as an add-in. Like I already have keyboard, that's why I just opened it automatically. You can copy this link and then add the Microsoft add-in to it to accept. So now let's say you got to work from online, or maybe you read a paper and then the content in that paper needs to be paraphrased. You can just highlight the session that maybe you got from that particular place, and then it will display directly in your keyboard just from this interface. And then you can paraphrase it. Yeah. And once it is done paraphrasing, you can still try to counter check. Like, is this really what I'm expecting? Maybe you don't love a certain word that was used. Is using a sign, and maybe I don't want to use a sign, I want to use allocated. You can also change it directly from here. It is using maybe something like this, like convolution layers. Maybe I want to use layers of convolution, just like that. You can always counter check each of them before moving. So I think that's it for this. And this is the online version. Like you can also, uh, let's say, get a content from online. For example, let's say you copy this thing from a paper, you can come and paste it here directly and then paraphrase. It works just the same way. But the extension, let's say the add-in within your Word document, it is more easy because you are just working directly from your Word. You don't have to be switching apps and then going to other places just to do that. So I think that's it for Qbert. If you have any question, you can keep them for the question session and you can still ask me. So next is the plagiarism checker. So for this plagiarism checker, uh, this is the download link for it from the official website, and this is the link for it. And this is the hacked version link. You can use this link to download it directly for your work. If you are done writing your entire paper, you can just input that work into your keyboard. Unless not keyboard, but this plagiarism checker. And then you can be able to check for plagiarism so that you can avoid anything that has to do with plagiarism. So to show that, maybe I will use this other device, how to use keyboard. Let me try to share my screen from this way. Because I don't have it on Mac, like Mac. Okay, let me stop sharing from here and share with this other device quickly. Okay. All right. You can see my screen, right? Let me try to open.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so you have 10 minutes. Oh, okay.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. You have 10 minutes, then
Whoa.
we entertain some questions from the audience, and then we move to the next section.
Where is this thing? Where is it? It's not displayed. All right, maybe I will move on. Like, it is not very hard to use. You just copy your content directly in plagiarism checker, you upload it, and then it will display I'm not seeing it now, so I think we can move on with for lecture before that eat our time. Let's see, never even touch other things. Okay, let me start sharing from this way. All right. All right, so let's move to PPT. Yeah. All right, so for these writing tools, like you have Gemini, you have Copilot, they help you get content very easily. So let's say Gemini. Gemini is from Google, formerly called Google Bar. It is something similar to ChatGPT. And let's open all of them. That, and then Bing. All right, so this is Chat. Maybe we can start from it first. And Chat now offer a free service like ChatGPT 4.0, where you can use some capability of GPT-4 by uploading content, and it can help you to make analysis on them. And maybe you can upload papers as well for something that you do not understand. But let's firstly start with maybe some basic prompts, or maybe write something. Let's say you have this content. Let's go at the top. Let's say abstract. Maybe you don't love how, let's say, your abstract is like, you don't love some of the words that were used in it, or you want to expand on your abstract. No, we shouldn't use abstract. Abstract is something that is very major in your work. We don't want it to be fake. So, okay, let's say, can you expand on this content? You can be more specific, like more specific on what you want to do, and then it will actually write more on what you want to do. So like you see, it is writing about it, is expanding it. So for example, if I don't want, let's say, this Copilot to write using bullet points and all of that, then I can tell it, write the content maybe in a paragraph into paragraph, GRAPH paragraphs. And I use bullet points and be very comprehensive. So they also write them in that same format. And for example, let's say you have maybe a chart that you want to, let's say, make analysis on. You have a graph and you are not understanding what that graph is about. You can also make use of chart. You ask chart to explain them. Okay. Uh, let's say, okay. So maybe we can say something like this. Maybe you have this pair. It is still writing. You can stop it. But it's still generating other things. Maybe in your work, you were doing some analysis or writing your analysis part, and you got a graph, generated a graph, and you don't know how to explain it. You can also make use of this. Say, can you explain about this graph or figure. And you can be more specific with your question. Try to streamline maybe your task. If you know your topic name, I believe you know your topic name, you can also write your topic name on it. And then let's say it is about yeah, something like that. Just say something, be more specific with it, and then it will generate content for you. Like I will try to explain, analyze that graph. And sometimes it cannot be very smart because these models are still learning. So like you see, it is saying that it is an F1 curve, and it is true, it is actually an F1 confidence curve. So it is explaining about the various content in this curve. And you can use it, let's say, use the ideas from here now to write your work. You can just summarize them, or maybe, let's say we get a content from down there, and we say, can you summarize this content in one paragraph? This is ChatGPT we are using now. So let's delete other things that we don't want to see. Certainly, let's dive into, we don't want them. So you can paste and then it start to generate. So it summarizes this entire idea. And if you get this content now, if this is exactly what you are talking about, then you can get it. You try to paraphrase it using your paraphrasing tool that you have, and then you can use it in your analysis part of your work. And the same goes like this. You can ask any of these different large language models similar questions, and they will give you, let's say, some pretty good answers. So, for example, this is Gemini. You want to ask something. Maybe you don't know what to write about. Let's say I am writing a research work about business in China. China. I don't know how to go about the writing process. So you gave me an outline of how I can go about it. Yeah, something like that. And like I said, you can ask all of these language models similar questions and they will provide, let's say, some good answers to you. So like you start by saying, define your topic and then try to conduct your research. After that, structure your research work. And now you have a basic, you have a starting point. So in designing your project now, you can use your design tools that we talked about earlier, and then you can move on with your work. So you can play with them more. There are so many things you can do. Like there is also a documentation here. You can use this documentation to know how to type certain prompts. So once you go open this platform, you will see a lot of different prompts that you can use when you want to talk about certain things. And if you use the rifle prompt, you will get some good answers or good responses. But if you don't use the rifle prompt, you'll just still learn on that particular thing. Like for example, grammar correction. If you want to get a prompt of grammar correction, you can click here and then it will show you different prompts how to ask questions in that direction. The same as explain a code, product name generator. And there are so many different prompts that you can use. So I think that's it for those. We can move to, oh my God. Now, so we have survey tools like data collection tools. These are some of the tools that you can use to collect your data. Like you have SurveyMonkey, you also have Google Forms, Microsoft Form, and all of that for model. And these are the various links for them. So for example, if you are using WeChat to maybe generate maybe get data for your research work. Maybe it's a business work. You can make use of this WeChat. Click on, copy this link, even though it do not look like a link, but that's just WeChat. Once you enter that on WeChat, you can click on it. Then it will open this mini app for you. And you can start your questionnaire. If it's a questionnaire work, you can select from either some templates or start from scratch. And let's say we are clicking on this. Try to give it a name. After that, if you want to give a description, you can give it. If you don't want to give a description, you can forget about it. And then once it loads, you can start to put in, let's say, content. Let's say the first thing I want to put here is maybe name of the participant that I'm maybe sending my survey to. And after that, save it. You can also play with other things as well. And you can add so many different things, like different things that you want to receive, like content that you want to receive in your survey. Like you have images, you have links to upload content and everything. And after that, you can submit them. And for the sake of time, I won't really spend much time on them. So you also have Google Forms. I believe more people have been using Google Forms before. You can copy this link and it will open directly in Google Form. The same as Office, Microsoft Form. They are just pretty similar. And you can start a blank form. Once you create a blank form, or if you want to get a template, maybe something that is already, for example, you want to collect data on maybe contact information, you can just click on this template that is available here, and then you can modify some content to personalize it. And I love this from all of them, like Pomalo. You can do so many things with this to help you give a lot of, okay, so this is the Google form just open. This is a contact form. If you don't love the name, you can change it to maybe another form. And description, if you want to add a description, you can add a description. You want to change name, you can change name. If you don't want name, you want something else, you can change it. And once done, you can move on. So the same as this as well. This is still loading. But once you understand one of these forms, to work with the remaining ones, that won't be difficult for you. Yeah, it will be very easy. So for the sake of time, we'll move on. Okay, so
Yeah,
we
honorable
have reference.
speaker, your time,
Yeah.
okay? Please try to wrap up.
Okay, sure. Like, let me try to be quick. Oh my God. So you have reference manager. Reference managers are very important in writing any research work. Like you have EndNote, which is not an open source reference manager. You have Zotero, you have Mendeley, and you can use all of these directly in Microsoft Word to write your research work. So like these are the various links for them. The download link, your hacked version that you can use for free. And like Zotero is an open source work, so there's no need to download any hacked version. So for example, let's start with uh, this. This is EndNote. And if you want to see, yeah, this is EndNote. So for EndNote, from my experience of using different referencing tools, I realized that EndNote is actually the best. Why is the best? Because it offers a lot of options that you can use. So for example, you are seeing in this EndNote, there is a group tab here. And on this group tab, you can create subgroup. Maybe you are working on a project, let's say, that is about blockchain. You can create a group here that you can add all of your blockchain content to it. So yeah, there is a group tab right here. Like I'm seeing someone asking which group is referred to as training group. I think someone can please help answer that question for those people that are asking. Yeah, the AC can please help. So like you have this group tab here that you can add different group. For example, let's create a new group here. Let's say group one. Group one is about maybe a particular subject that we are working on. Like you see, there's no reference in here. If you want to get content for, let's say, your references, you can go online, download your references, and let's go on Google and try to download a reference and then import it into EndNote. So we have Google Scholar. Yeah, these are different tools that you can use to get different literature. Okay, let's say a 3D Gaussian. So let's make it broad. Now you have different papers that came. You can download them by clicking this site. And you click either the EndNote extension, Reference Manager extension, or BibTeX, whatever that is okay for you. Or better still, you can open this paper directly on Google, not Google, but through the publication hub. And it is loading from the publication hub. And once you are on this particular journal, you can download this paper if you have access. So I can click on site. You can click on site here since we are talking about EndNote, and you see just the same thing that you also saw on Google. You can click on any of them, maybe RIS, and the RIS work mainly for EndNote as well. Very easy. You can also use BigText. So if I click on RIS, it generates the RIS file for me, and I can just download them. And once I download them, I can open in my download view, and then this is it. I can just directly click on this. Click on it, and it will open in your EndNote. Okay, it is asking me to select my EndNote library. This is the library that I'm using for EndNote. You can open it, and then it is in your library. Once it is in your library, you can use it to cite. So let's say this is the title of this paper. I can go back to my paper and say, let's say I read a content about this particular work. So I can just do the citation right here by clicking on EndNote. And then this is the EndNote panel for Microsoft Word. And you can change the citation style if the reference, let's say the journal you are publishing in is not IEEE, you can change it. And then you can click on Insert Citation and paste the topic that you just got, like that paper, and then insert, search for it. And it's here already. I can just click on Insert. Yeah, so it has been inserted, but you can see it came in this form that I don't like. So I can just click on Update Citation and Bibliography, and then it will straighten up for me. It did. Okay, so it's updating my references. Ignore all of them. Okay, so it is updated now. So this is what I added just now, this and this. If we check at the bottom of our references, we will see that that's reference number 2. So this is reference number 2. And this is the paper 3D Gaussian. So that's how you can use EndNote. And it's similar to other reference managers. For Zotero and this Mendeley, you also have extensions for these that you can use directly in your Microsoft Word. And lastly, I will just talk shortly about this because of time. I beg. So now, like getting materials for your research, like these are different websites that you can get on. Like you have Google Scholar, you have Semantic Scholar, Elicit, Consensus, Research Rabbit. And I just demonstrated something on Google Scholar, and I would like to focus maybe on Elicit. And Elicit is pretty similar to Consensus, Research Rabbit, and other things. Google Scholar and Semantic Scholar are more similar. Like you can search for relevant papers, and it gives you just a list of papers. But I love Elicit because it helps you speak on the content of the paper in a way that you can just be able to, if you can know like the content you gave you, the abstract, the summary, and then what this paper is focusing on. So for example, this is my illicit. Let's say I'm writing a paper on adversary examples, or let's say years and businesses in the Chinese market. Yeah, something like this. I want to get related papers on this topic. For example, if it is a topic and I can click on it, it will load and give me, let's say, different papers, and as well summarize 4 of them that I can also use in my literature when I'm doing them. So it is loading. It is just comparing lists of similar paper on this particular topic. So like you see, this is our topic we search for. You can search for the topic you have. So you have the Chinese market present, blah, blah, blah. And I also gave the references. And these are actual information. They are not something fake. Like this particular paper, this is what you have here, Navigating Chinese Culture and Politics. And this second paper, it is this one. Like you can see, it gave you a list of so many papers. You can load more, and you can also add other things. For example, right now it is only showing you the summary of the abstract, and then you can add maybe the main finding. What's the main finding in this paper? You can click on main finding tab. It will add a section for main finding. Maybe the methodology, if you want to know the methodology that was used, you can also add that as a tab, and it will just summarize all of them for you. And if you want to download that particular paper, you can click on that particular paper, open your Semantic Scholar to download the paper. And let's say you click on it, it gives you the link. You can use that DOR to download from whatever platform you use to download, or from the particular journal, and it will help you. So this is the name of the paper, and I can use this paper and use this paper wherever I want to use it. So I think I will stop here for now because uh because
Okay,
of time.
okay.
We can talk about all of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for that brilliant presentation. So we will take the second speaker, and then at the end of the program, he's going to speak for 40 minutes. So by 8:45, we will entertain questions for about 15 to 20 minutes, after which we will dismiss the program. So if your questions have been sent to the chat box, don't worry, we are jotting them down. And before this program can end, the speaker will respond to everything one by one. So please stick around, and we will invite our second speaker to come and make his presentation. Honorable Gideon, sorry, are you there? If you are there,
Yeah.
kind of mute yourself.
Please. Yes, please. Can you get me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, that will be clear.
And this will be there are some part of this lecture series will be like people will partake. So I will select one person to like unmute themselves and read that part. And everybody, you can be muted and stay, just read, just for you to get the feeling of what going on. We will be talking on a few things that actually, when we are writing, we think our readers will understand it that way. Sometimes you are writing differently and your reader is understanding it different way. So we will give few examples and know what to do. But before going there, maybe we can see in the chat room to know your major and where you are joining us from, your major and where you are from. So I will know the audience and know which side to go when I'm explaining. That would actually be good. So just drop your major area of research in the chat box, and all right, public health. Okay, okay, okay. Okay. That's good.